Hello everybody, this is Terry from Genki Gaming TV coming back at you with Yokai Watch 2019 episode 11. And I do want to make something apparent to you guys. It seems like no one is supporting the Yokai Watch fandom wikia because there are not episode summaries past about 8 or 9, I believe. So bear in mind, certain episode names or segment names, it's kind of hard to translate on the fly, but we're diving in. We start this off with a thing that I believe is a slight Pokemon reference. The Who's That Pokemon segment, but it's Who's That Yokai with Koma-san. And it introduces us to Osuberi-sama, or Kampunzer? Yeah, it's Kampunzer, which is a yokai that I'm probably always inspirited by because I make horrible and great puns all at the same time. So, as the episode starts off, Nate makes a pun while trying to greet Katie. So that makes his day start off to a really bad start, and he tries to explain to Whisper that he's not making puns of his own accord, that this was not what he chose to do. So Whisper basically tells him, no, there's no yokai inspiriting you, everything is okay. He makes a pun while in class trying to answer a question, and he's like, no, I'm not answering that. Because who would want to do math to begin with within the Yokai Watch world? So he even makes a pun at lunch that was so bad that it made his French cringe. Then he makes a pun while leaving school, which makes the entire class cringe to the point that we see the little cringy bluish colored droplets on their face. Nate gets home, screams into a pillow, because wouldn't you want to do that as well after a day like that? And then Nate stopped creating puns, and Whisper started to become the pun master general. And Whisper's puns will probably not be usable by the localization team due to the fact that none of them would make sense in English, because they're all Japanese play on words. That's basically what it really amounts to, which would be really hard to replicate, which makes it a lot harder moving forward. I mean, they could always use other puns, but it would be hard to create a true tie-in of sorts to how the puns actually would play out. But yeah, so Whisper begins to Nate actually scans the room and finds Compunzer, and Compunzer continues to make puns by showing and using food to make puns, because who wouldn't want to do that? So we have a pun off between Whisper and Compunzer that ends in Whisper being victorious in the art of punishment, because he has those raw pun skills that pay all of the pun bills. Okay, I'll stop now because I'm ahead. Ha ha ha. But as that pun war carries on, Compunzer drops his arc and leaves, and there's a picture of Whisper in place of Compunzer. So, yeah. And we sequence into my new favorite part of the Yokai Watch series, which is Dr. Management, because who went to see Management as a doctor, and people are making noise out in the kitchen. So yeah, and Management is being yelled at by his incho or his director, and that creates an issue, and he makes up a Dr. F and says Dr. F can save the hospital, blah blah blah. Dr. F is amazing. At the end of the day, he doesn't know who Dr. F actually is, so he's sitting down at a food stall, and the owner's like, yeah, Dr. F is real, and here comes Fubuka Hime, our icy savior, Blizzaria MD. Who knew Blizzaria Fubuka Hime could be a doctor? So we sequence back to the hospital, them meeting each other at the front door, and then Blizzaria going out of her way to help Nurse Tungus with Jibanyan, which ends up Blizzaria pushing him out in traffic on a gurney, which sends him flying. And then Blizzaria decides she must operate on Jibanyan, because she thought that him getting hit by a truck would be enough to snap him back into being his normal bouncy kitty self. But she was wrong. So this is all continuing to play out. Management is having doubts about her being an actual doctor, to the point that he has another physician push Jibanyan around. And it gets to the point where Professor Plumage, that stork guy with a top hat, Nazotoki, tells him that he got the wrong Dr. F. That Dr. F is actually Havernyan, or Funyan. So yeah, he is shocked. He's basically appalled by himself for getting the wrong Dr. F. He tries to confront her, but the Incho, the director, is okay with her being her and having her own special way of doctoring. And then we get a sequence over to the Fumi part. Koma-san, Komajiro on the bus. Koma-san is freaked out when the bus driver comes on and tells them what stop they're at. This continues to be a gag until they get off at the wrong stop in the middle of nowhere. Koma-san is happy. Komajiro is confused. And that was the Fumi. And we end this with the search for Komami-san, or Komami-chan. They're Imoto. So they are told that Komami has gone somewhere a little bit fishy. So they look on Instagram to see that she's gone to a beachy mountainous area. Osole-san, which they believe to be a slightly cursed mountain. Koma-san gets possessed by the spirits, and Komami is okay. She's moved on to the next location on her great getaway from home scheme of us never seeing who she is. So yeah. And the brothers yell Komami at the end of the episode, like always. Overall, this episode is a really low B. It's not great. The Blizzaria stuff is what saves the episode. The opening segment was alright. It was pretty good. Those puns are great if you get Japanese. Those puns won't really do much for you if you don't understand the wordplay. So you have to have a little bit of Japanese knowledge of different condiments and different word similes. for it to even be slightly funny. So for localization's sake, they'll probably change stuff. I believe the Dr. F segment will probably be changed because they'll probably try to add other yokai that do a better job of a play on words. I don't know who they would end up truly using at this point. Like if they would stick with the letter F, or if they would possibly go with a whole nother letter symmetry. But overall, the episode was pretty good. It wouldn't be what I would call super duper amazing, but still good in its own right. Overall, it feels like the community's kind of slightly given up on this one. At least the English-speaking international community. Because the channel in general for these newer Yokai Watch videos aren't getting the same hype as they were for Shadowside. I'm not stopping by any means. I'm just making a point known at this particular point in time that Level 5 needs to get their stuff together, because this stuff doesn't seem to be doing as well at the international level of everything. I mean, some of the stuff is really funny and works very well, while some of the stuff works like a origami piece that you expect to hold a door shut, or a clip, or something that you like. Trying to think of a better simile to use, but it's not nearly as good and cohesive as Shadowside. But I'm not knocking on it. I'm gonna continue to do videos on this series, but there might be a point of time where I just stop, because there's just, the support for this stuff is so low that even the people that update the wiki have stopped, which is really saying something, because we have a hardcore Yokai Watch community. You guys know that, I know that. It just feels rather strange that people aren't really taking to this like hotcakes. I guess after being exposed to the shadow side, people don't, well, the US audience that have seen this kind of, the ones that have missed OG may not care about the 4 coma section. It may not get some of the play on words of certain other parts of it. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great week, and I hope your week is full of positivity and blessings. Bye bye for